Anybody else just hang out with your cows? Big Chief. Big Chief.
Chief. She is totally ignoring me.
She is ignoring you.
Hey, Charlie.
Cow kisses.
You keep your tongue to yourself. You
Cow
keep your
kisses.
tongue to
Give a
yourself.
big old Charlie cow kiss. Give a big old Charlie cow kiss.
Charlie May, what kind of girl are you?
It's a chilly one this morning. Piney Grove, we finally got some cool weather. But we got a ton of things we have to get done. And I think I'm going to start with preparing the 1 acre food plot in the back for planting. So I think we're going to put on the flail mower behind the Kubota and go do that acreage or that acre. But first, let's check on the cows and see how they're doing. We used to have them in the pen over there, but they kind of ran out of grass there. They had been using that for a week or two. So now we have them over here. Got a little bit better grass, and we'll just keep moving that pen around until we get our fencing done, which is another big project I really should start on today. But I need to get the food plot in. What's up, Charlie? You can see Chief looking out from under you. So they had their first vet visit this week, and they got a little skittish. Well, Charlie accepted it more so than Chief. And Chief was so loving and gentle and coming up to you, and he got a little skittish after that visit, but now he's warming back up. I was actually laying with him in the pasture this morning, and he came up and started chewing on my ear. So I think they're over it. Chief is a little bit more sensitive than Charlie, I guess, because he took a little bit more time. It's just great having them here on the property, totally taking up like all of our time and all of our life, but that's what we wanted. That's why we did Piney Grove, was so that we could have animals and we could just enjoy being on the property. I also got a shipment in, and I need that to do the pasture. So I'll go ahead and show you what I got real quick. I don't even have it out of the box, but it's on the tractor anyway, so I got to move it. But we're partnered with Baumolite. They gave us a mini skid steer to use for a year and a bunch of attachments for it. They are a North American company. They're not a Chinese company, and that they don't use Chinese parts. They asked me specifically to say that in my videos because somehow there's a misconception. I think because of all these videos about Chinese mini skid steers and Chinese mini excavators, that their name kind of got caught up in that. But just a great company to deal with, real good quality products. I just popped the top off of this, but this is an auger for the mini skid steer. And then we have a trencher down there. And we'll take that out and put it on and use it, but just not today. I can go get my iron clay peas chopped up because they're real stringy and viney, and I don't want them to get caught up in the tiller. And hopefully I'll be able to use my new Tartar tiller. That's a 6-foot tiller for that, but that's getting ahead of myself. First I got to get it chopped up. Well, mowed down, because I guess that will chop it up. This flail mower is actually a side shift mower with hydraulics, and the Kubota doesn't have hydraulics, so if I wanted to use side shift, I'd have to put it on the Summit. So we're just going to put it on the Summit. It's barely enough horsepower to run it at 18 horsepower PTO, but it'll do it. What I'm mowing isn't going to be really thick. I mean, it's viney, but I don't think it will really tax this tractor. I've had it in thick grass before, but like I said, the limitation is the PTO horsepower. It can lift it and turn it fine. Looks like I'm using the middle hole there, so I can leave the pin in until I'm ready to use it. With this tractor, with the limited space, I like to hook the PTO up first. Sometimes I get in a bind down here if I hook up the 3-point link first. Linkage. One side on. Get this side on. Top link. And she's hooked up. And lastly, the hydraulics. check our side shifting. Alright, we'll center it for now. I don't even know if we'll need the side shift, but it's nice to have it. Just trying to make sure it's centered behind the tractor. Looks like it's riding higher on one side than the other. We could lengthen this arm a little bit and get it perfectly level. But I did a video earlier this year of a brush cutter blade. You'll see where there's green patches of weeds, and that was a really thick, tough weed, and I put a brush cutter blade on my string trimmer and did a demo of that. But the reason I did that was to reduce the amount of weed seeds going into, the fall and the spring of next year. So even though I cut them off, they still made seed pods. And these right here might be green enough that they don't reproduce next year. Here's the seed or the pea. But if we come over here to this one I didn't cut off, and it made a seed pod, and this is how many weeds will be waiting for me next year. Down there by my thumb, there's probably 20 in there. 20 hard seeds ready to make more weeds next year. And I thought I got ahead of them, but what I needed to do was mow this down earlier, but it still had a little bit of greenery. Like here's an iron clay pea. There's one little green leaf there, and that's something the deer can eat. That's why I planted this. But they're few and far between across this field. And Bella and I already walked this field this morning because we have a pair of fawns out here, twin fawns, that were born on the property that love to spend their day out here bedded down safe when their mom left them alone. And Bella jumped them many times, but we walked this whole area this morning just to make sure. But really, there's hardly any vegetation left here. So let's get started mowing this. I'm mainly going to mow it this way for erosion control, but there may be sometimes I have to go back and forth this way, like around some of these oak trees I've planted. Take a minute to get used to it. That's a little low, it's hitting dirt. Waiting for the PTO to stop. I've got the hammer blades on here, so they're a wide blade and they're a lot of resistance, and it's all that this tractor wants. At first I was kind of hitting some dirt, but I raised it up and it's doing fine as far as height, and it's doing a great job of chopping up these vines. But when I get in those thicker vines, it's really bogging the tractor down. You'll hear the blades clank here in a second. There they go. Now it stopped. But what I'm going to do is lengthen the top link so it rides at more of an angle. And that should help. So by lengthening the top link, I can put it at more of an angle like that. So now when I lower it down, it'll ride more on that rear roller, not as much here. And then kind of keep those blades out of the dirt, and also be less load on the tractor, hopefully. So it skipped over this bunch of vines. I'll just have to run back over that. But over here, it did a real good job. Like none of these vines are too long where they'll get wrapped up in the rototiller. Like that's the longest one, and that'll dry in a day or two. But the rest of these, they're nice and short, so they won't get wrapped up when I till it and plant it. One thing I could do, and I was thinking about doing it, I don't have time, is just throw some seeds down now, and it'll be 100% no-till, because I would just mow and then the thatch would lay on top. And we had a good rain recently, and that plus the wet thatch, and most of the seeds would come up that way. But I'm going to go ahead and let this dry a little bit before I till it and till the seed in. But that's definitely one way you could save a little bit of money in diesel with one pass. Just ride through there with your ATV and spread your seed and then mow over top of it, as long as you have moisture. If it's dry, that won't work. There's my PTO light. Give her the gun. I'm gonna clean up in between all these pines. Got that pretty clean in there. Now on some of the thick stuff it did bog the tractor down a little bit, but all in all did a good job. I'm gonna plant all that too in between those rows. I might back in there, try and clean that up, and over here as well. That side shift worked good around those edges, so I'm going to work it all the way around the edge of the plot. I'm making great progress here. I got more than half the field done, but it is slow going because that is a very heavy duty flail mower from WoodMax. And right on it, it said it's rated for 25 horsepower. Now that's a 24.7 horsepower tractor, but it doesn't have that much horsepower out the back. It's only got 18 PTO horsepower. So I'm already starting at a disadvantage there. So it's slowing me down, especially on the turns or when I hit thick stuff, but it is doing a great job of chopping up everything. I would say this is some of the thickest stuff that I have out here, and it is iron clay pea vines. And if you're not familiar with iron clay peas, they send out like a 20-30 foot long vine. It's very tough, it's very stemmy. Here's a piece of one, and it'll climb these pine trees. I have iron clay dried peas because it makes a long pea pod like 20 feet up in these pine trees. But this is the vine itself, and this one looks like it got hit by a couple of the hammer blades on the flail mower, but it didn't really chop that up. But most of it is all chopped up. Like that won't get caught in a tiller. There's another real thick piece of vine that really won't get caught in a tiller. So it's doing a good job. It's just really struggling. So I really needed to put it on the Kubota, which has higher horsepower, but there's nothing, it won't need to be mowed again because I mowed it with that tractor. And that's one thing I like to get across in my videos, whether they're about cows or cattle or whatever, is that there's certain things you can do to get a job done, but that doesn't mean you should use that tool to get the job done. We get tons of questions out here at Piney Grove about what tractor should I buy, what horsepower, how is the Summit doing, is 25 horsepower enough? Well, I'm going to get this field done with a mower that's too big for that tractor, and I would say it's going to get the job done. Is it the right tool for the job? Not with that mower on it. It needs a smaller, less heavy duty mower, but I'm gonna get the job done. So that's one thing that I like to get across in my videos, is that sometimes you can get away with less horsepower, smaller equipment. The price for that is time. I'm going so slow, and in some places I'm having to stop completely so that the mower can clear. And another thing about this flail mower, besides it being heavy duty and it side shifts, so it's got extra components on it, makes it heavier. It's got hammer blades on it, and they're harder to turn than Y blades. But it also has all of the side shifting hardware, which makes it heavier. So there's just a lot of things going against this small tractor here. I'm not putting down this tractor. This tractor is just as capable as any 25 horsepower tractor out there. It's just that this is turning out to be tougher than I thought for it. Right there, I had to stop, it got too thick. All right, guys, that was it. That was the last pass. We got the whole acre done. Tractor's still running. We didn't break anything, and that's always a good thing. But that'll wrap it up for today's video. But we're going to roll some footage now of Charlie and Chief running around in the pasture. We absolutely love our Highland mini cows and spend so much time with them and love sharing them with you. But until next time, y'all take care out there. And remember, life's short, tractor hard, and check out these two videos right here. They're pretty cool too. Take care, guys. We'll catch you on the next one.